Hi everyone, I'm Alex York and I'm here with Cami Tellez, the founder of Parade. We are behind the scenes at the Forbes 30 Under 30 Summit. Welcome, we are so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much, Alex. I really appreciate it. I'm thrilled to be here.
Cool, well I'm very excited to talk with you. We are at the Under 30 Summit. You are on the Under 30 list. You are under 30 years old. What does that mean to you? What does being under 30, being part of this community really mean in your eyes?
Yeah, this is I think the third year since I've been on the list, and really reflecting on what this accolade means, and I think it's a spirit of defiance. When I think about the under 30 list and all these incredibly brave entrepreneurs, very, very young people who are reinventing themselves constantly and looking at issues that they see in the world and going out there every day to change it. It's incredible to watch, and I think especially during a time right now where we're a very difficult market than we've seen in the past few years. I think that founders are being asked to, get up another time and keep fighting. And I think that everyone at Forbes 30 Under 30 that I've met so far and everyone I've seen speak just absolutely embodies that spirit of defiance and rebellion and willingness to keep innovating.
Yeah, it's a super cool community, and I want to get into what you mentioned about a difficult market and all those sorts of things and growth. First, I want to go back to when you founded Parade, your company. Walk me through what that process was like, why you saw it was, something that was needed in the market that existed at that time.
Of course. So I came into the category as a customer. I started this business because I grew up going to Victoria's Secret, feeling like this massive misalignment between the supermodels that I was seeing blown up on a billboard and really what I believed about women. And fundamentally, I came into this category also with a little bit of experience in venture capital and seeing sort of the boom of the kind of e-commerce industry and realizing that there was an opportunity to hand this category back to the customer. And our intention was really to partner with the Gen Z kind of customer as they were first coming into the category and to co-create a brand with them, a values brand that was fundamentally at a value price point they could afford, a brand that really stood for sustainability and inclusivity and made products that were aimed at fundamentally innovating in the category. Yeah,
that's super interesting, and I want to talk about Gen Z specifically. Over the past 5-ish years, you really have grown in, resonance with the Gen Z audience and prominence with Gen Z buyers. What do you think about Parade really resonated with them? What were some of either the values like you just mentioned or ways of marketing or, kind of messaging that you guys gave out that really allowed Gen Z to connect with the brand and ultimately become buying customers?
Yeah. So I started this business when I was 21, and so the idea of Gen Z marketing was just sort of my concept of marketing. And I think it starts with sort of what I said initially, which was handing this category back to the customer, an act of co-creation. I think what we realized was, before it was about, supermodels and, a big billboard on Fifth Avenue, and now it was about having a real community of people that were grassroots and that wanted to co-create the brand with us. And so Parade has over 100,000 ambassadors that are posting about the product every day, that are telling their friends, that are actively kind of voting on what product they want us to make next, and helping us decide where we want to spend our hard-earned dollars and what kind of causes we want to give back to. And I think that has been my fundamental learning, is that building a brand for Gen Z means building a brand that is engineered for co-creation, that is constantly working with the customer to define what's next. Because I think that what Gen Z is most afraid of is, brands that are static and unchanging and unwilling to listen to them. And so it's been an interesting past few years to run a Gen Z brand as this kind of group comes into spending power. But I think there's never been a more rewarding time to listen to the Gen Z customer and actually, make changes.
Definitely. What does your marketing strategy look like? Because a lot of Gen Z relies on social media specifically for every bit of information that they get. So what does the marketing strategy look like for Parade? Is it social first? Is it social and elsewhere? What are you guys really, trying to do in terms of marketing and sharing your messaging?
Yeah, I think for us it was understanding that there had to be a multi-pronged strategy and that people have to see your brand several places. They need to hear it from a friend, they need to see it in an ad, they need to see it in a store. For Target, we launched in Target in March, which we're really excited about. And so for us, it's a strategy of ubiquity. With such an intimate product, it was important for us to be able to have multiple moments where we could touch people and start to kind of diffuse information about the brand into their lives, and it's been an ever-changing approach at a time where marketing has become more difficult and more expensive. I'm very lucky and very excited that Parade has always had a true community strategy at the helm, and the core of the brand has always been around letting our customers be the #1 advocates and promoters. they're all part of the parade. And so it's been I think a very exciting time to build a community first business.
Yeah, it's also been a very challenging time to build a business in general. Over the past couple of years, there's been a lot of fluctuations in the market. It's a difficult time to raise right now. What advice do you have, or what are some insights that you can share about the market at large and your experience as a founder and as a business leader throughout it all?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's ever been a more difficult time for founders in the last 15 years. I think a lot of people are silently suffering. I think many founders, people I've talked to today, are making very difficult decisions about their teams and the future of their businesses. And I think it's important for us to recognize that, with the massive booms of, the entrepreneurship economy, there also comes these really difficult times. And it's important for us as a community to kind of stick together and to be aware of the changing fate of this environment. I think what we're seeing is also a confluence of events in the funding market that has reorganized fundamentally like what companies are going to get funded. And I think that, as we were talking about earlier, there are really two components to every startup. There is execution, which is super, super important. But on the other side, there's the structure, which is how do you capitalize your business? How much money do you raise? What does your margin structure look like? And I think for founders now more than ever, execution isn't enough. Getting the first part right is going to be really, really important. And getting to profitability faster than ever before is critical. And something that's going to be a very difficult road ahead for a lot of founders.
Definitely. And with that, you guys are also focused on sustainability at Parade.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think oftentimes businesses think, we need to save money somewhere, like maybe it's a sustainability sector, that's where we save it, or the environmental, the eco-friendly factor. So how do you guys go about combining your sustainability mission, your mission-driven company, while still prioritizing, profits and revenue and growing the business sustainably in the financial way as well?
Yeah. Well, I think the really interesting piece about all of this is that more often than not, with every case study I can think of at Parade, as being the most sustainable option was in many ways often the most economical one.
Right.
For us, when we look at it from a product perspective, yes, sometimes picking the most sustainable fabrics isn't always the most affordable for the customer, but the customer is often willing to pay more. But looking at things like fabric wastage and where kind of yarns are sourced, for us, continuing to push our manufacturers to be as sustainable as possible was something that fundamentally drove down our costs. And last year, we actually lowered our carbon emission per product around 38%. On a product level, which also allowed us to save money on freight and a bunch of other kind of core pieces of the logistics of the business. And when I look at the customer-facing side of sustainability and how critical it is for our community, I really think of our Second Life program, which was a program that we launched in partnership with TerraCycle, where we really wanted to answer the question to our customers: what do you do with your underwear when you're done? There's no worse feeling than like throwing out a piece of clothing, and it's not a piece of clothing that you can resell. And so for us, it was about how do we engineer a program that allows our customers to send back all types of underwear, not just Parade, and how do we make it easy and cost effective. And in the time that we launched it, which was around 12 months ago, we've recycled over 100,000 pairs of underwear. And taken thousands of pounds of carbon dioxide out of our atmosphere. So it's been very exciting. It's at no point does it ever feel like the work is done, but running a business that's sustainable and carbon neutral at its core has been critical for us since the beginning.
Definitely. And after these 5-ish years of building the brand, you now are taking on a slightly different role. You recently sold the company.
Yep.
What can you share about your new role at the company, kind of what your either day-to-day looks like now, or kind of where you see yourself fitting in with the growth of Parade as we move forward?
Yeah, I'm so excited to be in this new role and have the company in great hands as it continues to scale. Our ultimate goal was ubiquity and to write a new underwear story, and that fundamentally means putting a great team behind it of people who are going to roll it out to the next 1,000 stores and to the next kind of hundreds and thousands of people. And so I'm really excited to still kind of be an advisor in the business and to still be working closely with the founder of our acquirer. But I'm also excited to keep building the next business. I'm always going to be building things that are at the nexus of culture, community, and commerce, and this is just the beginning.
Cool. And I want to ask too, in terms of finding a partner that you are going to sell the business to, but brand partners, and then bringing on employees from other very large brands to join Parade, what do you look for in someone that you're going to work with? Are there either key characteristics or, aspects of a brand or a person partner that you thought were really crucial in, the many decisions that you made in terms of bringing people on board over the past couple of years?
Yeah. Especially thinking about this market over the last 5 years and just kind of all the tremendous turbulence that we've seen, I think adaptability is core. Often at Parade, we use the mantra, move like water. And at a time, especially when you're running a product business with so many complexities and a global supply chain and hundreds of thousands of customers, it's critical to have people around the table that are ultimately invested in the mission and are willing to kind of wiggle the details and make everything work. And I think that holds true for all entrepreneurs right now.
What has been the biggest business challenge over the last couple of years?
Largest business challenge over the last couple of years? I think the largest business challenge for us has been, just the changing market. I would say that we're very lucky that we didn't see a massive impact in the sort of change of consumer spend over the last year. But it's concerning, I think, with the return of student loans and people battling inflation. Their hard-earned dollars are, they're thinking really deeply about kind of where every single cent is going. So something that kind of we're going to continue to look out for, but I have a positive mindset on kind of the consumer outlook.
Well, that's very exciting. My last question for you is, what can you share about what's next for you? Are there any projects on the horizon or industries that you are interested in, or kind of parts of your daily life that you are interested in kind of taking up as you continue to shift through these new roles and new future for you?
Yeah. I'm really excited about, as I said before, continuing to build businesses that are at the nexus of community, culture, commerce. I think that we are just starting to build community-first brands and continuing to think about how we enable those brands and what brands are best equipped to hand their category back to the customer. I'm really excited to keep building.
That's very cool. Well, thank you so much for chatting today. Welcome to the Forbes Under 30 Summit, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks.
You.